You had shoulder surgery going back to last year. Part of the Angels, just everyone in your rotation ended up getting hurt last year. I know that because I'm an Angel fan, and it just sucked. So when did you decide that, dude, I'm done?
I really didn't, I mean, I guess I got put in a position where I had this opportunity to step up to buy the Porsche, BMW, and Audi stores up in Fresno. And, I decided that it was the time to make the jump to commit fully to that. Because this is like the major leagues of being a car dealer here, these three brands. So I still keep myself in shape. I'm still working out and all that stuff. I just tell everybody that I signed with CJ Wilson Racing instead of signing with the baseball team.
So you decided to start racing cars?
Yeah, I've been racing for about 10 years, and there's a YouTube video that Porsche put out called Parallels, where they have me driving around on the track talking about my baseball career, talking about my ambitions as a driver, and what the next step for me is, which is to be racing full-time this year.
Okay, so you're racing Porsches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, racing in the GT3 Cup Series in IMSA.
Okay, because I have buddies that race Miatas, and some race exotics. Why race Porsches?
Well, now that I'm a Porsche dealer, it makes it a lot more marketable, I guess.
Yeah.
But we started with Mazdas. We won a couple championships with my race team.
Those are fun, right? They're not terribly expensive. I know the tires are expensive, whatever, but like those are. I got a buddy who he goes up to Lime Rock in Connecticut, and he's a Porsche guy too, but he loves those Miatas. Those are kind of fun to kick around, aren't they?
Yeah, they're super fun. I mean, that's how I got started. I got started just doing track days. And then from there, I started going to racing schools and, excelling. And then I got to the point where I started actually racing and winning some pretty big races across the country. And I had kind of a career, fork in the road in about 2010, where we'd gone to the World Series, and then I won a really big national race that year. And I realized, okay, I need to focus more on baseball and put racing off to the side and start a racing team so that they can build a racing business. And then with my sort of inspiration and guidance, they can drive the business forward in one direction. And when I'm done with baseball, I'll circle back around and start racing for my own team. And that's been kind of the thing for the last, 6 or 7 years or whatever.
Yeah, CJ Wilson.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah, CJ Wilson Racing, which of course you can see online. He joins us on the Doug Gottlieb Show on CBS Sports Radio. When you were playing, did teams know? Like when the Angels signed you to the $77 million deal, did they know? Did you have a clause in your contract like, hey, I can go out and race cars whenever I want? Did they know?
Well, you can't really race cars whenever you want because, to be a lawyer about this, we are busy playing baseball, a lot of the time.
I meant more the danger of it, right? Like,
well,
and
yeah,
especially
but danger's all relative. Dangerous is like drinking and driving and stuff like that. When you're on the track and you're surrounded by health and safety professionals, everyone's going in the same direction. You're only racing with professional level drivers and stuff like that. I would never put myself in an unsafe situation.
I understand. I understand. So they didn't know. They had no idea you were doing this.
No, they knew I was doing it. They had a private investigator following me around. I commuted on a Ducati that whole off season.
Wait, on Ducati? What's that like to drive?
It's a motorcycle. It's got two wheels and no windshield. So,
I know.
Just like every other motorcycle.
Okay, but that sounds super. Like there's no such thing as being safe on a motorcycle, right? Like, I mean, my brother had a motorcycle. But like, did anybody go like, hey, dude, no motorcycle? That thing is fast. I mean, really fast.
Yeah, they were definitely not into it. I mean, there's like the insurance company had a private investigator follow me around, and then my agent got a call like, hey, why is CJ riding a Ducati everywhere? He just signed this contract. And I was like, well, same reason he was riding it the last 2 years, because it's the easiest way to get around Los Angeles in the middle of traffic. So.
I know, but you did the weaving thing?
I would split lines and do all that stuff.
That's crazy. That's the crazy. And for people who don't know, okay, and we're watching on CBS Sports Network, you can see the pictures of CJ racing his Porsches. But for people who don't know what I'm talking about, in Los Angeles, it's supposed to be 10 miles an hour faster is the most you can go as opposed to traffic? Is that what's the actual?
Yeah, it's like 10 or 15 miles an hour that you can, depending on where it's called filtering or splitting lanes. So it's really effective like on the freeway.
Totally.
When traffic is dead stopped, because then on the 405, especially from like LAX all the way up to I guess till you get to San Fernando Valley, till you get to like the 101, you have an entire lane to yourself. You have about 5 feet on each side where there's nobody, and you can just ride, and it's like a motorcycle super high ride. So people are just kind of ripping through there. And in the off season, I lived in LA or whatever, and during the season for the first couple of years of the Angels contract, I lived in LA.
Yeah.
So I'd ride around. It would help me get to the gym faster, get to the stadium faster to go work out, all that stuff. So I would ride. I worked out at UCLA, and when I lived up in LA, so I'd ride there. And I think there was a scout there one time going like, "Are you really riding bikes everywhere?" I'm like, "Dude, do you know how long it'd take me to get here if I just was in a car the whole time? It'd take me 45 minutes." And here, it's like you're like Jack Bauer on a bike. You're like everywhere in 15 minutes. It's great.
Okay, so now you're racing Porsches. You own a Porsche and Audi dealership. What is the goal? Like, right? Like, you don't get to be a pitcher who pitches and starts in the World Series unless you're like a goal-oriented guy. You're a driven guy. You're 36 years old. What's the ultimate goal in racing?
Well, right now as a dealer, I mean, including the motorcycle stores, I've got 15 dealerships or something like that. So, that I'm almost there to my goal in terms of how much stuff I have, accumulation-wise. Right now, it's just about having a certain amount of profit that you can make and keep the whole thing going to the right direction, and make sure that just like any other business, people want to make more profit and they want to pay off their debts and they want to just kind of keep moving forward. So we get graded. Each dealership gets graded. I
meant more like, do you want to race like Indy cars? Do you want to race like NASCAR?
No,
like you don't want any of that?
If I wanted to race NASCAR, I'd be racing like the K&N West Series or something like that. So I want to race at Le Mans. That's the goal. So the actual the goal for me, it's in my little video, I guess, that is out there on YouTube. But it's to go the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France and win the race. So that's the ultimate goal for me as a racer.
Will you ever pitch again in Major League Baseball?
I don't know. I mean, if the situation was right, maybe. But I think at this point, right now, I'm here at the dealership. I'm working out. I'm racing. I'm focused on that. That's the most attractive offer I had was to race, this year. So if somebody came along this offseason and was like, "Oh, what we really need is some really crafty guy with good hair," then maybe that would change.
Well, plus we always think like you're left-handed and you have good hair, but you're like left-handed, so like guys like that, left-handed guys can pitch forever, right? Like you could do that till you're 50. Just all you have to do is get a lefty out. So
yeah, but at the same time though, like what kind of life is that? And when you factor that against the fact that I've already got all these other dealerships, I've got the race team, I've got a family.
Yep.
And I've been playing professional baseball for 16 years. It's not like I played for 2 years and decided to go quit and be a car dealer. I mean, it's like I've been doing it for quite a long time. And the good thing is now I don't have to deal with any of the umpires anymore. Do you have any idea how much better my life is with no umpires in it?
All right, I want to ask you a baseball question real quick.
Better.
I don't know if you heard this. This is according to Yahoo Sports' Jeff Passan, that they're planning on an experimental rule in the Arizona Fall League, the Gulf Coast League, that when they go to extra innings, they're going to start extra innings with a runner at second base. What's your reaction to that in an effort to speed up extra innings games?
Is this alternative facts or is this real?
This is yeah, this is very good. This is good. I mean, Joe Torre said, "Hey, let's see what it looks like." Right? So he said,
I don't know if I'd be listening to Joe Torre. He's like 80 years old. Like, what's he really going to contribute at this point?
Again,
I mean, come on.
So
I'm not a baseball player anymore, so I can say whatever I want.
I know. I'm asking. So I'm asking you, C.J. Wilson, runner at second base in extra innings. What are your honest thoughts of that as an idea in Major League Baseball in an effort to speed up extra inning games?
I've heard of dumber things, but that's in a very high list of dumb things that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I said it reminded me of, hey, why don't we just have him hit off a tee?
Right, yeah. Why don't we just play home run derby? You pick we'll do it like Troy. You pick your best warrior. We'll pick our best warrior, and then we'll home run derby for the win. Like that's what they're basically saying. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Bat 4 guys every inning and just do whatever you want. It just doesn't. You could change the game, but you're not going to make it any better. The game is the way it is for a reason. It's because it's 100 plus years of evolution to get to the point where it is. We start just arbitrarily changing rules, inserting runners, like ghost runners, or this wiffle ball.